Greetings, Aloras and Moneybags. This is Mad Hair Patrick, and welcome back to Spyro Month. Now that I talked about a TV show loosely based on a Spyro game, let's talk about a real Spyro video game. No, not that one, I already did that. I said I don't have any of those games. Didn't you remember the end of the last episode? A Hero's Tale was the fifth console of the Spyro games. Thankfully, after the failure of Enter the Dragonfly, Universal Interactive decided to find another developer to do justice to the games, Eurocom, who ironically was the same developer that made Crash Bash and Crash Bandicoot: The Wrath of Cortex. This game is known to be a series of playable characters from the previous games like Hunter, Sergeant Bird, Sparks, and a new ally named Blink. The catch to this game is that none of the voice actors from the previous games reprised their roles, except for Nasty Norik and Sparks. But I had to address the title. Shouldn't it be A Hero's Tale with an E? Just seeing A Tale just sounds like it's supposed to be about Spyro's tale. What, was it the main reason on how he constantly saves the world? Welcome to another episode of the Wonder Reviews. Let's continue Spyro Month by Kinda worshipping his tail. This is Spyro: A Hero's Tale. Seriously, it should have been an E. In the world of the dragons, there's an ex-elder named Red that is trying to harness the power of the Dark Gems by scattering them all over the realms with the help of Nasty Norik, the main villain from the first game of the series. So it's up to Spyro and his friends to find all the Dark Gems, destroy them, and confront Red to end his takeover. The journey seems pretty basic, and you can detect the pattern on how you're going to beat this game. You find 10 Dark Gems from each realm, smash them, go into a boss battle, find their weak spot, get a new breath type, and yes, the ones from the previous games are back, learn how to use them, and travel to another world. Though to be fair, the journey seems pretty accurate to a Spyro game. However, the main villain Red is not much of a memorable villain because they tried to give him a pass that he used to be part of the Dragon Elders, but he was banished for being jealous and evil. They don't really explain about him that much. I know the other villains weren't complex and developed, but they were at least unique by themselves. Nasty Norik was assertive, Ripto was a dictator, the Sorceress was a spoiled queen that wants to gain immortality by collecting the dragon eggs. Hey, I'm on a mission to stop this bad guy named Red, but I need to know everything about him. Oh, he's evil. Also, unlike the other games where you have a hub world and there are portals to individual levels, each realm is an open world surrounded with themed areas, like the Dragon Realms has a gateway to a swamp and a jungle. Even though they don't have the portal mechanics anymore, the worlds themselves are pretty good. Another thing that's different is that there's no requirement to collect all the gems in the realm, but collect as many as you want to buy power-ups at Moneybags shop. The only familiar mechanic they kept are the Dragon Eggs. You have to find them all over the world and take down a thief to retrieve them. Plus, if you collect 10 color-themed eggs out of the 80 eggs in a set, you get to unlock the mini-games you play throughout the game, and even some concept arts and designs. Yes, this Spyro contains mini-games. I know there were some in the previous games, but most of them were contained as standalone quests. The whole purpose of these games is that if you complete the first challenge, you get a Dragon Egg. The second challenge gets slightly difficult, but if you finish it, you get a Light Gem, which you will need to collect to unlock hidden areas and special abilities from the Professor. One of the common mini-games in the series are the Speedway challenges. This time, you play as Sergeant Bird. This one is mostly my favorite of the game, and it's awesome playing this flying penguin from the third game. Sparks' challenge is okay, and it is pretty cool to fly through some small caverns filled with bugs. Spyro's Cannon challenge doesn't have a good gameplay on its own because you have one quest from a character to protect something precious to them from enemies, and another one where you have to defend yourself. There's also Blink's minigame, who, in concept, the character looks cool with his night vision goggles, laser gloves, and he prefers to explore underground as opposed to the surface world. But the problem is that his challenges can be tedious where you have to find 5 or 10 dark gems inside the cavern and get these mine bombs to blow them up. They take a really long time depending on how fast you finish it, and the underground is not really creative. The only playable character that doesn't have a minigame for himself is Hunter. However, his gameplay is actually enjoyable with his archery skills and cat agilities. He even plays a big role in the glacier level. When it comes to the other components of the gameplay, they can be basic, but often good. But there is one change that doesn't make sense. If you play the PlayStation 2 version of the game, the flame button is on the square and the charge button is on the circle instead of the other way around like the previous games. Not really a flaw, because luckily you will get used to it thanks to the tutorials. The breath types like lightning and ice are more useful for enemies and puzzles. The bubble breath, on the other hand, is still pointless where you had to activate some water wheels. That's it. Some of the abilities the professor gives you have their enjoyable moments. The invisibility pad protects you from enemies and other hazards, Supercharge lets you hit metal doors, and the ball pad is a roller coaster-like gameplay whenever you press the charge button. There are only 4 bosses in the game. There's Nasty Nork, who drastically changed from the last time I saw him, a new villain named Neptune, who looks like Ursula, and Red, where you had to defeat him as himself and his robot form in the final battle. Okay, you gotta admit, a robot dragon is awesome. Unfortunately, their boss stages are not fun to play. You have to dodge their attacks, wait for them to expose a weak spot, and attack times 3, and hear a dialogue that they have been defeated. Yet they seem weirdly unfazed on getting hit.
Yeah, let's talk about the dialogue in this game. Well, the cast they chose is okay, but the way they talk, it seems pretty childish and has a series of one-liner jokes, especially when Spyro talks to someone.
They're completely different technologies.
Yeah, Moneyback's teleporter is smaller. I'm not a fish. I'm a dragon.
Oh, a sea dragon. Got it.
Oh, dude! Just say no.
I would actually prefer Trouble with the Trolley, eh? At least I remember how funny it was.
The best parts in the game are the effects and production designs, and they are visually imaginative. Whether it be the Lost Ruins, the Glaciers, the Dragon Realms, or anywhere else, they do feel like you're in a Spyro world. The designs of our favorite characters got a much better upgrade on a GameCube or PlayStation 2 video game, and any other NPCs like Frederick the Frog, Lily the Mermaid, the Elders, and the rest are well designed and fit in the world perfectly. And whenever you smash a dark gem, there's an After Effect moment where everything is back in tip-top shape and unlock a new path.
Oh yeah, there's one more thing I forgot to mention. The background music is actually really good, and it actually fits like in the Spyro's trilogy. So overall, this Spyro game is pretty much a mixed bag, but as mixed bags go, it's more of a good one than a bad one.
Spyro: A Hero's Tale can never beat the original trilogy, but it's way better than the 4th game. Although the boss battles aren't that great, the visuals are stunning, and the gameplay is more good and clean. This is a game that Spyro fans will enjoy, or if they're looking for a good Spyro game outside of the trilogy. Honestly, I prefer playing this again over a glitchy video game. I'm giving the 5th console game a B-.
I'm Matt Harapedrick. Now if you excuse me, with one Spyro video game finally out of the mix, stay tuned for next week where I talk about a more mixed video game, one of the Legend Spyro video games.
Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe me for a new review and other project every week. I'll see you soon.